Hey, it's Finn. As I've said many times on this channel's short life, I absolutely love Dead Rising. And to take a break from the movie time games I've recently been binging, I thought it'd be nice to check out one of my favourite games. For this video, I'll be playing the deluxe remaster of this game. Despite having a few changes I'm not the biggest fan of, such as quite a bit of censorship, this version does feature quality of life features and better visuals, so it'd be nice for you to look at. Anyway, I think it's time to begin Dead Rising. The game begins with an interesting version of Pokemon Snap, where we witness people being eaten in their natural habitat. We land on the roof of this mall and meet the world's most swagger man. Taking control of our character, we enter the mall where we stare at this random woman and inspect all the Black Friday shoppers who are just waiting for a chance to buy a microwave. We're asked to help barricade the place, but instead of doing this, I just harass the elderly. And this old woman lets everyone in just so she can rescue her dog. Now, it's time to meet our crew after escaping the zombies. We meet Man with Sore Throat, Woman, and Old Guy Otis. Before we continue though, I think it's time to introduce our main character. Frank West, the photojournalist, is here to investigate the zombie incident. A photojournalist doesn't really sound like the kind of person I'd want in a zombie killing situation. Hell, give me the army. But maybe he is the right guy. I mean, what do you think, Frank? Are you confident?
Kinda. I've covered wars, you know.
Hey, I guess he is. We accidentally break a woman's leg, so now we need to help the guy being shot at on the monitor. So we hustle our way over to the food court. Entering the food court, we're thrown straight into a gunfight, where we're being shot at by this guy on the roof named Carlito. And after my last video, I'll fight anyone who's got the high ground. So I choose to fight Carlito. I make an agreement with Brad to show him where the old man I harassed earlier is, and we head back to the safe house. I think it's time to go outside and clear my head after all these random things that have been happening. Hell, I got shot at for no reason, but these hooligans are outside, so I decide to be a mature citizen and give them a slapping so that they'll stop. It's been 24 hours in this mall now, and you'd think things would have settled down by now, but somehow that old guy from earlier has got himself kidnapped. So now me and Brad have got to go rescue him, and Carlito is back again, because of course he is, so we have to trade some shots with him, and Brad is sadly shot in the crotch. So it's time for me to go to my local Tesco and get some bandages for him. Upon getting into the supermarket, we find this guy who's really defensive of his store, and had stolen the girl that Frank was staring at earlier, so we can't have that, so we kick his ass. But in the time that I was kicking his ass, the girl disappeared, so we just go back to getting the supplies and head back to the safe house for now. But Frank's disappointed that we lost the girl, so we ask Otis if he'll check for her on the monitors, which is a bit of a long shot. I mean, what are the chances he really finds her? There's loads of people, holy shit, there she is. But she's not happy to see us, so she uses an interesting attack strategy of doing circles on a bike instead of just leaving the area. And due to this move, I knock her off the bike and she tells us she'll give us more information later. And we let her go? Wait, what? There is no way you believe her, Frank. She's not going to come back. Oh, she came back. And she brought a friend of her, a bullet wound from Carlito. Ouch. So I guess we better take her back to the security room, just in case Carlito gets any more bright ideas and decides to shoot me as well. Upon bringing her back, the old man from earlier gets freaky, so we just put him down. We also find out that Carlito actually had an even bigger plan than shooting his own sister. He plans to blow up the mall so he can spread the zombie virus. And that seems to upset Brad quite a lot, so he forces me to go get rid of the bombs. So we head into the maintenance tunnel where we play supermarket sweep with bombs, while Carlito attempts to hit me with a truck. For some reason, I don't think he read the rules of this game. We fight off Carlito, find the bombs, get out the parking lot, and success! But where's Brad? He's the one who forced me to come down here and deal with the bombs. So where is he? I'm going to go back into the car park and find him. I found the asshole. He was in this bloody corner, eating spaghetti off his lap, damn asshole. So that's it. We're going to leave him down here, and we're never going to see him again. We go back to the safe house, and I refuse to tell Jesse about leaving Brad in the underground. And me and Isabella go to Carlito's secret base to see if he's got any more funny ideas. But while there, we're informed that Carlito's been added to the menu at the butcher's, so I guess I better head over there and rescue him. I failed. He's dead. But hey, he did give me the password, so we can now use the PC and find out what his secret plans were. I head back to the safe house to let Jessica know that we found the password, but she started the celebration without me. She even brought snacks. She's eating this military guy as I come in, so I have to put her down. Around this time, the military turn up and start trying to take out anything that moves, and other than hitting a few of them with the Rengoku treatment, I'm mostly just hide out with Isabella till they leave. I mean, there's not really much to do at this point. They've even taken all the zombies, and I'm not dealing with getting stun locked every 4 seconds. But now the military are gone, it's finally time to get out of here. I make it to the helipad and, oh, he's not here. He's forgotten me. I'm stuck here, in this mall. Wait, no man, there he is. He remembered me. And as he comes to pick me up, I think of all the people on this adventure. The people we lost. I'll make sure to tell helicopter guy about them. Oh shit, he got munched! The camera fades out as the helicopter crashes and zombies begin to approach Frank, who has given up on this whole situation. I don't blame him, to be honest. But before we see what happens next, I think we use this time to talk about the gameplay. God, I love the gameplay of this game. Let's start with this game's most iconic feature. Everything in this game is a weapon. Guns, knives, bins can all be used to aid your zombie survival journey. While there's no denying that some weapons are more heavy hitters than others, like the mini chainsaw and the machete, which, let's be honest, they remove them the difficult from the game the second you get them. But I don't think that's a bad thing. Yeah, you could argue that there's no reason to use any other weapon, but if you do that, well, you're just removing the fun yourself. But I personally find that keeping my strong weapons for psychos is just a better strategy. I find myself improvising to fight zombies whenever I rarely need to do it. I'll just pick up bins, lob them, jungs, anything. It makes it kind of fun. And for me personally, I just think it's the best way of playing the game. I did mention psychos a second ago. Should we talk about those goofy guys? Dotted throughout the story, but mainly optional scoop, you'll find some survivors who are taking the apocalypse in an interesting way. The act of the game's main boss fights, they are amazing. They aren't just generic sponges, they are full of personality. They really help with the world building of this game. Outside of bosses and zombies, do we have any more generic enemies? Yeah, we do. We have the cultists, they appear on day 2, and the military, who appear on day 3. These are just here to mix up the enemy variety a bit. I don't mind the cultists, but I do find the military to be mildly irritating, as they keep stun locking you with bullets. But hey, not everyone in this mall is insane, so that's where we find ourselves some survivors. Capcom really still had those Resident Evil 4 genes stuck in them when they made this game, as most of this game involves escorting what feels like a group of mini Ashleys around the mall to get to safety. You may believe I don't enjoy survivors from what I just said, but no, I actually do. The only issues I have are in the original game, the AI was awful, but they fixed that in the remaster, so that's one problem solved. The other is when it's caught in big groups, you can quite often leave 1 or 2 behind, which leads to a lot of reloading into areas to grab left behind survivors. The game doesn't make it abundantly clear. In the original, there was this little sign to indicate how close the survivor was, but I couldn't see it in the remaster, so I just left survivors behind a lot. You may have heard me mention scoops earlier. This is what Frank gets up to since, well, Frank is a journalist, so he uses his camera. The camera is almost completely avoidable in this game. I'd say if you choose not to use it, you're missing out on quite a bit. The camera is nice just to get an odd bit of gameplay out of it. It has some variety. And also you can take pictures of stickers for a big PP boost. One final thing for me to cover before we regroup with Frank on the roof. That thing is this game's customization. Frank can wear anything you find in the mall. So if you want to make him look badass or beautiful, you can. Also, anything you wear comes across into cutscenes, which makes repeat playthroughs of this game really fun. So let's go back to Frank on the roof. He's nearly nibbled, but Isabella comes to his rescue and is somehow strong enough to get him back to the hideout by herself. I guess she's been hitting the gym. Back at the hideout, we find out that Frank has somehow become infected and is going to turn into a zombie. But since he's the protagonist of this game, Isabella gets the idea that we may be able to cure him if we grab random objects from around the mall. So yeah, that's what we gotta do. Sadly for me, I find overtime mode in this game to be a bit boring. All you do is backtrack through different areas of the mall to grab random items while on a timer. The military also come back, so Stunlock City's back in business, boys. It's not awful, I just wish they'd come up with something more fun for this part of the gameplay. During our shopping spree for stuff, we found out that the helicopter from earlier crashed into the clock tower in the middle of the park, and revealed that there is an underground exit from the mall. But the zombies appear to have set up shop in there, so we're going to need a strategy to get at this mall. But luckily, zombies' apparent weakness isn't chainsaw guns or even lawnmowers. It's smells? Yeah, seriously, they don't like smells. Isabella creates a smelly perfume to ward off the zombies, so we can take her hand and run through the cesspit of zombies. After upsetting the zombies with our smell, we find a military truck, we steal it, and we're thrown into the most random genre change ever, as the world's shortest turret segment begins against the tank. Right then. But Frank has decided that journalist beats army guy as we have a hand-to-hand fight on top of the tank. Somehow, Frank wins this fight. I guess military training goes out the window and proceeds to scream at the top of his lungs as our game story comes to a close. I really love the story of this game. It's so much fun to play through, and I love the fact that whenever you get a new achievement, you unlock stuff in New Game Plus. Speaking of New Game Plus, you can start this game at any point when you die, or just restart after you finish to keep your level. But back to achievements. All of them give rewards. Did you know there's an infamous reward in this game? You can unlock it for killing 53,000 zombies. That's the population of Willamette. But I've done that achievement too many times to do it here again. As I'm playing on the PC version, I don't want to do it again. I did it again. Come on, how was I not going to show you this? It unlocks the real Mega Buster from Mega Man. This weapon one-shots anything it touches, except for bosses, which it three-shots. The Mega Buster is also really useful in a new game mode you unlock after beating Overtime mode. This mode, Infinity Mode. That's its name. Goddamn will you remember it. You have to try and survive as long as you possibly can, while your health continuously goes down. Food is limited, and the only way to get more is fighting bosses that spawn every few in-game hours. Fun fact, there's another infamous achievement for surviving 7 in-game days here. That takes 14 real-life hours to complete, and it is such a bore to do. I've personally done it twice already, so I'm not doing it again. I did it again. How else am I meant to show you the rewards other than, you know, just loading up my save data from the other platforms? Wait a minute, that would have made a lot more sense. Anyway, for beating 5 in-game days straight, you unlock the lightsaber, which I also believe is another reference to Mega Man. This saber one-hits anything it hits, but surviving 7 days, what do you get? A pair of pants. That sucks. So, that was Dead Rising. I've said many times, but I bloody love this game. If you haven't played this game, please do. You won't regret it. And if you do, please tell me your thoughts. I'd love to hear them. But you know what else I love? You! For watching this video. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed it. Please drop your suggestions, what you'd like to see me cover in the comments, or maybe vote on my Twitter. Yet again, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye!